Welcome to the channel and the stream, everybody. I am Books Nelson with the At Me Bro Show. Here with the Jeff Green breakdown for Pink Diamond Jeff Green. He was the best Ruby card for a time, I think by far, and is still in that conversation, to be quite honest with you. One of the better budget cards, fantastic TTO card. So let's see if this Pink Diamond upgrade can live up to the legend that he created for himself with that fantastic Ruby card. And I'm personally very excited about this card because he was one of those cards that was just really fun to play with. He's just a really good card. And the real life Jeff Green was an interesting player as well. So let's get into it. So we see here, this is with coaching boost by deep. So this is +4 to his offensive attributes for the most part. So here we have a 94 midi, 94 3-point shot. He's not wearing any shoe. And this is not with floor general. So basically he's 99 in those categories if you're running a Hall of Fame floor general character. So if you're running this D'Antoni coach that I'm running in the floor general, he's a 99 3-point shooter and a 99 mid-range shooter. That's before he even gets into any kind of takeover or gets warmed up. So that's actually pretty impressive now that I see him in this environment. 99 driving dunk, 80 standing dunk, 88 ball handle. I don't know if that one is boosted. I don't think that's boosted. I think he's by default an 88 ball handler. Perimeter defense, excellent. Interior defense, excellent. All right, so he's pretty juiced on offense and defense. Excellent defensive card. 99 speed with D'Antoni. Wow. I originally bought this card just to do this review, but I might wind up holding on to this guy. All right, 90 strength, 98 stamina is fantastic looking. All right, so let's see what he's looking like with these badges. So first, let's go to defense, where he is positively elite. I mean, chase down, clamps, interceptor, intimidator. He's even got the post-up defensive badges, so you actually can play this card at the 4. As long as they're not running a bowl or like a Shaq, you can probably play this card at the 4 and like really do very well with it. Post lockdown, defensive leader, everything on Golden Hall of Fame, looking fantastic. And then here we have the playmaking badges. So this guy is made to dribble. He's got the, tight handles, ankle breaker, handles for days. He even has dimer on gold. That's excellent. All right. So here we see the gold range extender, which is no minus. That's excellent. But he also has the Hall of Fame quick draw, as well as all of the other elite shooting badges. And as a finisher, this guy should be able to compete with most cards as a finisher. Let's go ahead and get to his animations. So those are his hot zones. Let's see if his jump shot has changed at all. Now, his jump shot feels the same. It just has quick draw on it, so it's better. And that feels like a really, really nice release. All right, so that's his regular jumper. Let's look at his peak. Looking good. Looking really good off the peak, actually. This is interesting because they just came out with that Lamar Odom, and people will tell you I was one of the biggest fans of the Diamond Odom. So same thing with the Diamond Odom was so good that I feel like the Galaxy Opal didn't really need a review because it's just the Diamond Odom, but he's faster and he shoots better, right? But I always felt that this Jeff Green played that role very well. Now, he's 1 inch shorter than Lamar, but I don't know if that really bears out on the court, especially at the 3. And with this peekaboo, this might be he might be one of the better budget options to those Kevin Durant's and stuff like that. Like, I look at guys like Rocco and Pascal Siakam as a 3 and D option more so, but this card might be able to boogie a little bit. All right, so that's his shot. That's his peekaboo. See his Pro Hezi. Look, oh my God, his Pro Hezi's really fast. So I would say for this card, a lot of you guys might consider the Pro Hezi over the peak, especially as he starts to get tired. If you guys watch Ty Debo's streams, he'll say a lot of times, oh, he can't peak because he's tired. So when cards are right at that threshold, that 88, 86 threshold, and you're dribbling around for a little while and you finally get free, what you'll find, so say you do a bunch of moves, you get around, you're chasing around screens, you're trying to get stuff going, whatever, right? And so after that sequence right there, your guy might be blinking. Now, you don't want to go for a peekaboo because he'll give you the bad behind the back. He won't cancel the animations. So in that situation, you want to go to the Pro Hezi. And so if you master the Pro Hezi with Jeff Green as a taller ball handler, he does have handles for days, so that might not be as big of a problem with him. But that is a nice option because his Pro Hezi is very, 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 very fast. And obviously, you also have the quick stop options. Well, I did a quick stop just now as well. So yeah, I mean, he's looking really good in that. And wow, his shot off the Pro Hezi is really elite. Like, that's really, really quick for a 6'9" character. All right, so let's look at his leaners. And then we're going to go to those full court animations. All right, leaners pretty nice. Straight up and down. No muss, no fuss. Jeff doesn't really cause a problem with it. And again, as a post-up character, that's going to be useful for him because he's 6'9". So if you're playing TTO and you're like running Jeff as your point or something, that's going to be a really useful move for you. Speed boosting out of that post, post launching, I should say. Post launching into the leaner, very strong move. So master that release and you should be good to go. All right, let's look at his full court dribbles. I imagine his dribbling hasn't changed much, but we'll see. So he has the excellent behind the back, great. It's not for me the number one behind the back in the game, but a lot of people like this behind the back the most. So it is an elite behind the back. And if you call it number one in your book, I won't argue with you over that. Let's see, it's between the legs. Between the legs, it's a little on the slow side. Let's see how it looks out of the half spin. Okay, it's better out of the half spin, but it's still not fantastic. And I'm going to look at that behind the back out of the half spin as well. Yeah, the behind the back is pretty nice out of the half spin. We're going to look at his crossover out of his half spin also to see how good he is off of this half spin combo. No, the crossover is a no-go. The crossover is definitely a no-go. So I would say between the three, the half spin between the legs is okay. Yeah, the half spin between the legs is okay. It doesn't give him a great speed boost. But the half spin behind the back is probably what you want to go with. I don't know. They're both kind of slow, to be honest with you. A little disappointing there. So we saw the crossover was nothing to write home about. What about the crossover behind the back? Okay, so he can cancel his animation frames with the crossover behind the back. But you have to input it fairly quickly. Let me see something. I didn't get the second input in there. Let's try this real quick. There we go. Okay, we found it. So, and this is why these are deep dives, guys. We get through, we get past the surface, we get into the real. And so here's the first major tip necessary with Jeff Green. Normally, this half spin combo is very strong, and you can go between the legs and behind the back with a lot of guards, shooting guards, point guards, and a few small forwards have the elite animations. Jeff doesn't have an elite animation for that outright. His between the legs is okay, not fantastic, but if you, out of this half spin, cross over and go behind the back, he will cancel those animation frames into a nice little glitchy animation. And if you do that from a little further down, down the court there, you see that. It's actually kind of a glitchy combo for Jeff Green. So it's very simple half spin, then crossover behind the back. I say it's very simple and I screw it up. But it's very easy. You just do the half spin, crossover behind the back, and you're going to get those glitchy animations. And you see there it turns him to the side as well, so you can direct it with the left stick. So that is going to be a handful to deal with if he has the complementary dunk animations, which we'll be looking at shortly. But let's look at the rest of these dribbles. All right, so we're going to look at his hesitation crossover in the full court. Looking good. Looking good. And his hesitation launch in the same direction. It's okay. It's not fantastic. All right, so far, Jeff Green is like 50-50 with the animations. He has some really good ones and some that I'm not too thrilled with. All right. So he does not have the little guy's explosive behind the back, but he launches out of the regular behind the back quick enough that you can still use it. You see there, he's kind of like Dino Raja, like he gets out of it pretty quickly. So that's cool. So he doesn't have the fastest size up in the world either. It's not bad. It's just, a little on the slow side. He's a 6'9" guy, so he doesn't have the fastest size up behind the back there. His momentum is solid. Let me see. This is his regular size up, which is a little on the slow side, so you definitely want to do this in space if you're going to do it. The big bonus to this is your fastest, easiest route to a speed boost launch, is to simply, tap up on the stick and go, or tap left trigger and go. All right, so that was left trigger right there. I've also been tapping up on the right stick. Either one of those is going to work. All right, let's look at his Hezi. Okay, he's got a juicy Pro 3 Hezi animation. So here's the thing. Even though a lot of these cards get Pro 3 Hezi, some of them are just a little goofier with it than others. I don't know. Again, that's that 2K secret sauce I refer to. I don't know what causes it, but some cards don't explode out of it as well as others. He is on the top of the list. I don't know if you guys could see that right there, but he got a monster speed boost just now off of doing that. So right off the bat, I would say his Pro Hezi is so good, is so elite, that it almost justifies, it easily justifies the price of the card. Having a 6'9" that can pro Hezi like this. So for people, I get this comment a lot 100% of the time from people who can't dribble. I never get this comment from people who actually know how to dribble. And no offense to you guys who can't dribble that say this, but the comment is dribbling doesn't work against the CPU. And if you're having trouble dribbling versus a CPU, this is why we value the Pro 3 Hezi so much, because the Pro 3 Hezi is the fastest, cleanest, most reliable route to destroying the CPU off the dribble. If you do this to the CPU once, twice, 3 times, however many times you want to do it, the CPU does not guard this well. They take a bad angle, giving you room for a hop dunk to the basket or a Pro Hezi three-pointer. All right, now I've gone over this a bunch of times, but please, guys, try this yourself. I was playing TTO with somebody, with James Harden. They switched off me. They tried to guard me with the CPU. I instantly Pro Hezi and dunked on him. All right, so it's just, you know, just Pro Hezi away. And again, out of the Pro Hezi, I have a whole video dedicated to this, but just to reiterate for the sake of Jeff Green, you have your options to keep going in the same direction. You have your options to cancel into your shot. And almost most importantly, you have your option to change directions on a dime very quickly. And while I'm displaying this card, this is one of the options you have, is you get any kind of speed boost animation and you Pro Hezi and go the other way. All right, so that's going to always be an option there. So again, you don't even have to momentum dribble, which costs stamina. You can do it out of the regular size up as well. So just up on the right stick or left trigger, Pro Hezi, go the other way, and you're good to go. And again, if you can just regular change directions, yes. But if you don't use the Pro Hezi, you don't have the option to go the same direction. And that's the key, is to keep your mix-up alive. You know what I mean? Is you want to be able to do whatever you want around the court. You don't want to be limited to the one decision you make. That's why I think the obsession with the peekaboo is a little overblown in the community. Like, the peekaboo is great and you should use it sometimes, and it's very reliable from certain angles. But if you have the angle to use the Pro Hezi, it gives you the option of another read rather than picking up your dribble and having to do other things. And it shoots just as fast. In the case of Jeff Green, it might actually be faster. It's a card-by-card animation thing, so with every card you have to test the animation. So like with Lonzo Ball, it's actually terrible. I don't know about Opal Lonzo, if they've changed it or whatever, but with all of the other Lonzo Balls in the game, it's a horrible option. But with Jeff Green, it's a fantastic option. With Dwayne Wade, it's a fantastic option. And again, if you see them catching up to you, you can just keep going. And if you see them over-pursue you, you can change directions. All right? So that's enough of Pro 3 Hezi lesson number 515. I apologize for that detour, but it just had to be said. Because his Pro 3 Hezi is so good that I do think it literally like justifies the card in and of itself. So any other dribbles we need to look at? That's his misdirection. Looking good. All right, so let's go to his layups and dunks. This is a very good card, though. This card is definitely a W. I'm not selling him. I was going to sell him back. I'll just eat the 60K. I bought him for the cheapest price available. He'll probably go down to like 40K or something like that, because the 2K is weird when it comes to the value of cards. But this card is, in my opinion, worth 60K for sure. I think he's one of the better small forwards I have, and I'll be happy to play him at any level of competition. All right, so moving on. Let's look at those layup animations first. Ew, don't love that. All right, so that was towards the strong hand. We're gonna go up on the stick. Okay, up on the stick is much better. Much better. Gonna go floater. Oh, what a nice floater. That's a very fast, leaning floater animation. I love that. And we're gonna go opposite hand. Oh, that's gorgeous. So it's basically the same as, all right, maybe I got a forward animation. Let's try this again. There we go. Same thing though. He's got, looks like, is that the long athlete layup package? Most people only use the long athlete layup package to hop step. I don't even look at the layups that much. All right, so that's looking good. Let's look at his cradle. Very nice. Yeah, this guy's got a really nice layup package. Sometimes you get layups when you want to get dunks, and so that's when it's really important to have a good layup package. That's his cradle from the opposite direction, and we're going to look at his Euro step. All right, Euro step, ain't mad at it. Yeah, this is a really good card. This is definitely a really good card. All right, so now we're going to look at his dunk packages. So first we'll go strong hand. All right, in fact, okay, so this is a good time to recommend. If you guys haven't already looked at it, look at my dunk package, my dunk video, my advanced dunking discussion video. I like to call it discussion more than tutorial. But it basically talks about a couple of terms. I'm going to go over one of those terms right now that we're going to check for, and it's dunk radius. So dunk radius, if you haven't seen that video, is basically at what point does the character begin their dunk animations. If I have Hito on this team, I can show you the farther. Here we go. So Hito Turkoglu has the maximum dunk radius, meaning if I explode and I click right stick, so I've clicked it beyond the three-point line because that's how good he is at it. If I click it when his feet touch the three-point line, bam, right there, he goes into a dunk animation. That means he has the maximum dunk radius, right? So now I'm going to check Jeff Green. and see what the extent of his dunk radius is. You cannot get a dunk radius beyond the 3-point line, but you can get a dunk radius at the 3-point line, which is what Hito has. So Jeff Green has the maximum dunk radius. If you try to do this with other cards, notably say Russell Westbrook, the worst is Spud Webb. You will not get a dunk with Spud Webb until you get to the free throw line. He might have one dunk that triggers outside of it, but that would be extremely unreliable. I have not gotten the dunk to trigger with Spud Webb beyond the free throw line radius. Westbrook, like a lot of guards, has a dunk radius at the top of the key. I think Dwayne Wade might have a dunk radius all the way at the 3-point line, but it's generally reserved for forwards. I don't know why that is. I couldn't tell you. But there we go. So he has the maximum dunk radius. So this is relevant for this reason. This Pro 3 Hezi, right? This initiates a speed boost. So if you Pro 3 Hezi against somebody, you can initiate a dunk immediately after the Pro 3 Hezi, all right? So this is like super deep dive number 2 for Jeff Green. Is once you are in a speed boosting animation, you can feel free to initiate a dunk with him, particularly if you have a clear lane to the basket, which is an advantage he's going to have over several cards. Most cards don't have that maximum dunk radius. So another thing about dunking is you want to check what the dunk animations are at different points in the radius as well. So we're going to check him with the strong hand at the middle dunk radius, which is the top of the key, and then we'll check what the shorter dunk radius is with this free throw line and in. All right, it's top of the key. He gets the same dunk. That's excellent. So that means you have a nice window to trigger his best dunk animation. And you see there, I went to the interior dunk radius that was inside the free throw line, and he got an entirely different dunk. All right, I'll show you guys again. Triggered it here, and you see that's where his gather dunk is. So that might be unavoidable. So what you might want to say here is, okay, well, let's go inside that free throw line again. And I went with his left hand. He got a faster dunk with his left hand. So if you find that you are going to the basket with Jeff Green and you get over here, you might want to go up with his left hand because that gives you a faster dunk with this card. You want to avoid the gather dunk that happens right here. You see? It's pretty reliable too. I just got this card, so I haven't practiced with it. I'm experimenting while I show you guys. And in the experiment, he repeated it. Went up with the right hand inside the free throw line and got a gather. Went up with the right hand, with the left hand inside the free throw line and got a faster dunk. So if you're really looking to master your cards, you want to know these things about your cards. All right, so moving forward, I'm going to check his flashy. Looking great. That is a fantastic flashy dunk. Very difficult to block. And I'm going to try to trigger that with the maximum dunk radius. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, Jeff Green is an elite dunker. This guy's incredible. His card is incredible. I don't think there's a couple of dribble animations I would change about this card. But overall, he's fantastic. So when I say go up with the left hand, so there's two ways to go up with the left hand, obviously. There's going up with the left hand with the ball in your right hand, which is a switch hand dunk, which is what I did here, and gave him a very nice dunk animation. And then there's going up with the left hand with the ball in your left hand, right? And that's that one. So Jeff Green is an elite left-hand dunker, particularly because if you go up with him with the left hand from either direction, once you're inside the paint or near the paint area, he's going to give you a smooth, high, no gather dunk, which is actually more rare than you guys might think. So let's look for some hop dunks here with Jeff Green. Actually, before we get to the hop dunks, let's look at him switching to the right hand. There we go. Very nice dunk animation switching to the right hand from the far dunk radius. Let's look at the flashy from this side. Okay, a little bit of a gather when he's going up with the flashy from the left hand. It's not bad. It's not a terrible gather, but I will say you might want to go up strong with the left hand. He's a little faster going directly up with his left hand than with the flashy, whereas with the right hand, when he's going up with his strong hand, he's very nice with the right. All right, and that was his two-handed dunk, which is also looking good. All right, so we're going to look at some hop dunks. If Jeff Green wants to hop dunk at any moment, that'd be awesome because we're making a video, Jeff. Hook me up, buddy. There we go. There we go. So it doesn't look like he has I don't think that's the long athlete layup package. I don't know if it's default swing or what, but he doesn't have the silliest hop dunk package that you can get. Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest hop dunks in the world. I try to trigger it with the square and the right stick because you get different animations. And his hop dunks are solid, but not you know, silly. He's not Giannis. Giannis obviously is the best hop dunker in the game. You know, any Giannis card basically hop dunks better than pretty much anybody else. You can be equal, but not really superior. But Jeff Green is an adequate hop dunker. Definitely good enough that, you know, if you Pro 3 Hezi around somebody and you get into that area, I would say initiate the hop dunk after you get to the free throw line. So you Pro 3 Hezi, get to this area, and then you can hop dunk or hop layup, and he'll give you that. It's not going to be the best part of his game. Did I check a step back? Oh yeah, so this is his step back. He has an okay step back. Let's see if it combos out anything. Usually I check that earlier, but we'll see. Yeah, his step back is good. This is a good step back. It combos very, very well out of the size up. Tap L trigger or press up on the stick and you'll get that size up. I prefer L trigger, but you know, it's whatever you like to do. All right, so yeah, his step back is fantastic and it should be usable. Yeah, it's going to be really nice for kind of using it the same way you use the misdirection. When you see him settle down a little bit, you can pop right back out in a 3-point range. Very good move. And then out of that move, you can also go into a misdirection as well, because out of this step back move, go between the legs, go the same direction, and then pull it back. So that's really nice. So yeah, so that is going to close it out for Jeff Green. You know what? Actually, let's not close it out. Let's do his post fades and all that stuff. See what he's got. That's a nice post fade. Because he is 6'9", so let's look at his post-up animations as well. Some people will use him a lot in that capacity when he does have the size advantage. So we're going to look at that. He has very nice post-fade animations. We're going to look at his post-hop. The post-hop is kind of funky. Check that out towards the baseline. Oh, the baseline one is really, really nice. So yeah, he's also a good post-up character. Yeah, guys, this card, if he had a different name and he was a Galaxy Opal, this is a card that we'd be going for 200K. I think this card can compete with all of the 200K and up small forwards. I think he might be that good. Obviously, you got to play him in games to see, but because of how good his Ruby card was, that makes me think that he might be on that level as well. And I could definitely see him being my small forward until I get, you know, somebody else that I really like. Now, am I saying he's better than Lamar Odom? Of course not. Lamar Odom is the class of the class. But is he competitive with those guys? Absolutely. If you're of lesser skill than somebody who's using Jeff Green and you have any of the quote-unquote top meta small forwards, they're going to beat you with Jeff Green because this card is close enough to those cards to compete. And I would actually say, like, I had the Kevin Durant card for a while. He might be equal to Kevin Durant off of the Peekaboo here. Off of the Peekaboo in the Pro Hezi. He might be equal to KD in that regard, just looking at the speed and the general ease of his shot. Again, this card is new to me. I haven't practiced with him. But yeah, he's this guy can boogie, man. This guy's in there. So that's going to conclude it for my Jeff Green overview and deep dive. I know we went into the weeds on this one. I think the card definitely deserved it. And there were some other things about the game overall that we wanted to get, you know, into. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out that dunk video because I'm going to cover those topics with these cards because it's just another deep layer of this game that can definitely give you the competitive edge. Because if you're triggering gather dunks and getting blocked, that's obviously costing you. And if there's a way around that, you 100% want to get around that, all right? So I generally don't like to recommend cards, and I always say that, and the more I say that, the more I wind up recommending cards. But it's true. I really like this Jeff Green card, and at the price that he is, and he'll probably even come down a bit, I think he's easily worth it. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and for all of your support, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.